So I've been scammed enough times that I can make a YouTube video about it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Every time I've been scammed in my life. So the first time I got scammed, right? It was like 2 years ago. I was really into video editing, and I still am now. But back then, I just gotten into it, and I wanted to make some money through video editing. So what I did, right, is I joined this Discord server that I found on TikTok, which, I mean, you can already imagine how it's going, right? It was like a self-improvement Discord server. Anyway, on this server, right, you could advertise yourself. So I started advertising that I'm an editor looking for someone to edit their videos. Someone then ends up messaging me, right? This guy who starts messaging me, he's like, yo bro, I'm an up-and-coming self-improvement YouTuber and I'm looking for an editor. I'd love to give you a shot. These were his words, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I had no reason to not do it, right? So I end up adding the guy on Instagram. We call for like an hour, and this brother, he starts telling me about his life, right? That like, oh, he's about to do a degree apprenticeship next year, but he doesn't want to be a slave to the Matrix. Yeah, bro. Those were his words, okay? He was like, I don't want to be a slave to the Matrix. I want to be my own boss. I want to eat good, live good. These, you know what I'm saying. He just started explaining stuff, and he was like, okay, I'm looking to make some good self-improvement videos. I'd be willing to pay you up to £50 per video. I heard this value, right, and I was getting excited, bro. I'm like, oh my god, £50 a video. Like, I'd never been paid in my life before this, so I was like, this is insane. So of course I agreed to it, and I offered to make the guy a video for free. And I'm pretty sure what he said to me is, if the video was good, he'd hire me, basically. So I make him the video, whatnot. He says he likes it. Cool. So after this, I continued to make him a few more videos, and it was all cool, whatever. After I made him like the 5th video he wanted, right? No joke, he says to me, I'm sorry bro, but your video... And look, before all of this, my fault, yeah, is that I made him these videos without getting paid. He said to me, I'd probably pay you after 5 videos. I didn't even know how much this guy was gonna pay me, bro. He said the £50 thing before, but at this point, I'd made like 4 videos. There was no like discussions of how much I was getting paid. He'd always delay it, like, oh, next time, bro, next time. So after this video, he's like, sorry bro, the videos are not up to par and I'm dropping you from the team. Bro, here's the thing, right? He said he was dropping me from the team, but I was the only member. Anyway, I'm like, bro, what about the money? And he just ignored me, bro. Straight up, pretty sure he blocked me. I didn't get any reply. I didn't get any money. So that was interesting. Now, his friend also sort of scammed me, but not really, right? So, okay, so I made like a video for him and he was impressed here. I don't know, like, if he was really impressed, because these videos were not good at all. Anyway, the point is, he forwards me to his friend, right? Oh my god. His friend was the pushiest person I've ever met in my life, man. This guy... He started, firstly, he messages me and he's like, yo, he's immediately like, yeah bro, you're my editor. Like, I didn't even agree to anything. He's like, no, you're my editor. He begins offering the most ridiculous prices ever. He said, yo bro, I'm gonna pay you £10 for 8 videos. Or he was like, I'm not even gonna pay, I think, no, that's not even what he said. He said, so I just started this channel, I'm not gonna pay you until we get monetized. Like, bro, what? The channel had 0 subscribers, 0 videos. He wanted me to make like 50 videos for him for free. And then he's like, oh yeah, then I'll split the profit with you, bro. I'm like, yeah, are you mad? Then he's like, okay, make me 8 videos for £10. And mind you, right, these aren't like small videos. These are videos where I have to... He sends me a podcast, right? Because obviously he was another self-improvement, whatever, right? Motivation. He wanted to make motivational videos, you know, but at the same time, he's trying to scam guys. So he's like, yo, bro. So what he wanted me to do, right, is take the podcast, cut it up, a 2-hour podcast, cut it up into a 10-minute video, right? Add subtitles, add like other stuff as well, whatever he wanted. I can't really remember now. I'm pretty sure it's mainly just subtitles, but like the act of just cutting up the videos would take me about an hour itself because it was such a long video. So we eventually agree on £40 for 5 videos, I think, which is still insane, right? Because now that I think about it, it did not take me like a few hours to make a video. It would take me like 5-6 hours. I don't know why. Like, maybe, I'm pretty sure I added other stuff. Oh yeah, and I had to make him a thumbnail as well, bro. So imagine, I'm probably doing like, I'm working all day, and I did that all day for a week, like 5-6 days in a row. One day I remember my dad came into my room and he was like, why are you working so much? He was getting mad because I was in year 12. I was meant to be studying. I had mock soon, but no, I was out here. It was the term holiday, so I was out here literally working all day. At the end of the week, I got paid £40. If we do some quick maths, right, I'll say on average I did 6 hours a day, right? 6 hours for 5 days, 30 hours I got paid £40, bro. Do the maths of how much money I got paid an hour, bro. I don't know why I agreed to this, but in my defense, the guy was so pushy, bro. After a week, I couldn't do it, so I said, no, bro, I can't do this anymore. And he straight up blocked me. He was like, you're the most ungrateful person I've ever met in my life. I was offering to change your life, but you do this to me. Bro, I'm never trusting anyone again. Yeah, so that was an interesting experience, I'll say that. Interesting indeed. Anyway, after this, right, I never edited. I did edit privately after that, but I'd always get paid first. I eventually after this started editing on Fiverr, and then after that, the people I edited privately for, they would pay me first, bro. Because there was none of that get paid after. I'm not trusting no one. Anyway, that's how I got scammed right through video editing. But I now need to tell you guys about how I've been scammed in real life, because I've been scammed many times in real life as well. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you about the story that even prompted me to make this video in the first place. Okay, so like I recently moved to Birmingham for university, which is already, you know, probably why I got, which was already probably not a good decision, yeah. But anyway, I was at, like, if you guys know, the huge Sainsbury's in Selly Oak, right? It's 2 stories. The top floor is the actual supermarket. The bottom floor is an escalator in a parking lot. Okay, so I finished my shopping. I come down the escalator, and this guy, he tried to catch my attention, but I didn't notice him. So then he comes up in front of me, and he says to me, the first thing he says to me is, "Assalamu alaikum, are you Muslim?" Like, if you're asking me for money, why does that even matter? But you'll find out why that mattered. Anyway, he was Arab, right? That's also important to the story, because he then just starts speaking to me in Arabic. I'm Pakistani, so I don't speak Arabic, so I'm like, oh, I don't understand you. And he's like, okay, whatever. And then after this, he started telling me a sob story. I'll be honest, I wasn't listening. In this situation, I was just trying to I was so tired, I was trying to go home. So I was just listening, but I was like, bro, I'm trying to leave, man. Just to summarize kind of what he was saying for some reason, he couldn't access his bank account. He came to Birmingham to visit his daughter who goes to university here, whatever, and he lives in Newcastle and he needs fuel to get back there. So thing is, I was not listening, which was my problem. I could have probably ended up telling this was a scam, but I wasn't listening to the guy because I was just trying to get home. I had an IP, one of my headphones was in. I was just trying to get out of this situation as quick as possible. I was barely paying attention to the guy. Anyway, the point is, he's like, oh man, I really need fuel money. I promise I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back 60. You give me £35, I'll pay you back 60. And I'm like, oh man, that's a lot of money, man. And he's like, I said, promise you'll pay me back? And he's like, wallahi, I'll pay you back. Well, he said wallahi, by the way, right? So now I'm like, okay, if he said wallahi, I might as well give the money. An important part to this, like, story is next to him there was a girl, right, who he said was his daughter that he came to visit, and she was just being quiet, standing there next to him while he was spewing his nonsense, right? Like, yeah, I need money to get back to Newcastle, whatever, right? Okay, so now it's like, okay bro, I'll send you the money, whatever. He puts in his details into my phone, and then quickly he's like, as I'm about to send him 35, he's like, brother, send me 50, bro, you never know what happens. So I'm like, so yeah, I send him £50, and remember, he said wallahi he'll pay me back, just remember that, right? I send him the money. He's like, oh, your parents raised you really well. And I'm like, alright, whatever, thank you. And I'm like, okay, yeah. To be honest, my issue is that although I kind of had a feeling this was dodgy, I thought, what if he's telling the truth, bro? What if he's telling the truth? So that kind of, that thought there is what made me give him the money. Anyway, a few hours pass by, and I don't hear anything from him. Then he calls me, and I'm like, oh, finally, he's gonna pay me back. The guy calls me, and he's like, sorry, brother, I need £30 more. And I'm like, what? £30 more? Are you serious, man? He was like, oh, man, I didn't say this to him, by the way. I just said, £30 more. And he's like, yeah, while I was putting the fuel into the car, it leaked. So I was like, I don't have £30 to give you. Quite frankly, at this point, my heart dropped. I realized, oh my god, I'm an idiot. I just got scammed. So he declines the call. He's like, okay, brother, no problem. He declines it, whatever. At this point, I realized I've been scammed. I keep messaging the guy for a few days. Doesn't reply. Call him, straight to voicemail. You know how it is, bro. Like, that one hurt, right? Because he used Islam, my religion, to guilt trip me into giving him money. He was like, bro, if you're asking someone for money, why is the first thing that you ask them, are you Muslim? What's that got to do with you wanting money, man? It's like he wanted to take the money from a Muslim. That's what he wanted, bro, and it's so sad. I'm gonna be honest, this is obviously like my fault, right? And I'd like to hope he needs the money, but bro, that upset me so much, bro. Because he said wallahi to me, and okay, furthermore, right, he gave me his name when he was putting his details into my phone. So I searched up his name, I got his LinkedIn. Turns out the guy lives in Birmingham. He used to have a job from 2015 to 2016, and it seems like, according to his LinkedIn, he's been unemployed ever since. I also found the guy's Facebook, still lives in Birmingham, because that had more recent pictures from like 2024, yeah? And what's the craziest thing, right, is the girl next to him. The girl he was claiming was his daughter is actually the guy's wife, bro. Oh my god, bro, it's his wife. Oh my god, I was like, when I saw that, bro, I was like, how did I fall for this, man? How did I fall for this? Anyway, a few more things. On his Facebook, the guy was posted in like BMWs, which I found ironic, yeah? Like, oh, you have probably a rented BMW or someone else's BMW, right? It can't be his, right? Whatever, you're flexing BMWs, but you're stealing money from 18-year-olds. Like, what's going on, bro? What's going on? Where's your integrity, your morals, bro? And this is actually a really common thing in Birmingham. So like, when I first moved to Birmingham, like the third day in, I was walking down this road to the same place, the Big Selly Oak in Sainsbury's, and I was like on the motorway, but I was on the pathway on the motorway, right? Anyway, this guy comes up to me, and the guy was like, oh mate, this is his exact words, by the way, oh mate, I just got beaten up by 3 big black guys and they robbed me. I really need money to get home to Coventry. That's what he said to me, and I was so shook. His third day in Birmingham. I've already heard like really bad stories about Birmingham online, so I'm shook, right? And I'm with my 2 friends as well. And what happens is we're like, okay, I had a £10 note that someone gave to me as a gift, and I was like, mate, just take this money, you can get home. At this point, this was my first time I've ever encountered this. And so how do I know this was a scam? Well, my friend that I was with, 2 months later, he told me he saw the exact same guy doing the exact same thing, literally just further up the exact same road. And look, before you come at me like, bro, this was obviously a scam, I swear to God, I saw him spit out blood. I'm pretty sure now it was ketchup, but I swear to God, I saw him spit out blood. So that, again, tricked me into giving him the money. Like, bro, I'm so easily tricked, bro. Anyway, another time, in New Street, the train station in Birmingham, right? Another woman comes up to me. This time she's wearing a hijab, and she was like, Assalamu alaikum, I need money for my baby formula. And we happened to be in front of a Tesco Express, so I was like, I can go in there and buy it for you. And she's like, it doesn't have it here, I need you to walk 15 minutes. And I could not do that because I had a train to catch. So I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And then she was like, okay. She had her bank details stuck to her clothes, so she was like, okay, can you transfer me money? And I was about to transfer her money. So I said to her, how much should I pay you? She said £15. When I heard that, I was like, £15? Bro, you're obviously scamming me. To be fair to her, baby formula is actually £15, so she wasn't lying when she said £15. But anyway, what happened after that? Security guard comes up to us and he's like, get out of it, to the woman, right? And she's like, oh, racist, because he was a white man. Anyway, the point is, after that, the security guard comes up to me and he's like, you didn't send her any money, right? And I was like, well, I was about to, but I didn't, because you kicked her out, obviously. And then he was like, mate, I can assure you, right, her husbands are like the richest men going, bro. They have like Lamborghinis, Rolls Royce, and this is all an act to get people to send them money. And at that point I was like, okay, fair enough then. The thing that's interesting is I recently got scammed, obviously, at that Sainsbury's by that Arab guy. These 2 instances should have been warnings to me that this stuff happens. I wasn't thinking about this when this guy asked me for £50 for fuel, bro. But it took me a third experience, right? It took me the third time this happening for me to realize that people can lie to you about wanting money, and that this shit happens, man. And I'm upset because I lost £50, and I could have easily prevented this from happening if I just thought back to those 2 events prior, but I just wasn't thinking about that. So I guess I deserve to get scammed, but at least I learned a lesson, right? At least I learned that people can lie to you. Not everything's as it seems, and you can't really trust people. Look, I can hope, right, that the people that asked me for money, they actually needed it, but you never know what they used that money for. I hope the guy who I gave £50 to, the Arab guy who lived in Birmingham, lied to me, right? I can hope that he actually needed the money, but who knows? If he used it for drugs, then that just sucks, doesn't it? Anyway, the point, the lesson to be learned is, right, don't trust sob stories. People will use your identity against you to try and get money. It's messed up, but people will do it. There's no compulsion to give people money. Complete strangers, you don't have to give them money. Now, I'm not saying don't be generous and don't give to charity, but random strangers on the street, if they're telling you a sob story, at least from my personal experiences, it's more likely they're lying than they're not lying. So I would just recommend not giving them the money. I mean, I have trust issues now. There is no way I could ever give anyone with a sob story money ever again. But look, what's happened has happened. Hopefully you can learn from this, not make the same mistake I've made. And yeah, this world is more evil than you think, bro.